and I went on, and that was it.
This arm is in the way. Okay. Plug this in. Sorry, I'm making you dizzy. Yeah, this is not really entertaining. I was just gonna do some stuff on the computer. I don't know if you can even see. Yeah. Let's see what I'm doing, kind of. Let's see if I go to myself. Sure, I just opened a whole new window. I have too much shit open. My computer's gonna not work for me right now. Let's fucking close it. Okay. Oh, where'd that OBS thing go? Okay. So I need to watch like to re-enable it. Can I see myself? Oh, there I am. Okay. Oh, cool, I can chat. I don't even know what I can play in the background. Like some History Channel documentary on YouTube or something. I don't know. The universe. We could watch Ancient Aliens. We could watch Prepping. That'd be fun. Let's see. There's like this 24-hour universe live stream that's always on. Telegraph says men should give their wives a cheat pass. Interesting. Okay. This is what happens. 1 second. I'm gonna Google past it. There's my puppy. Oh my god. Creepy. Oh, I need to do how to do OBS. That might help. Oh, I hope this is like fair use.
Recently, in the free software series, I showed you OBS Studio, which is a free and open source screen recorder for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Windows, Mac, and Linux. In the comments of that video, many of you asked for me to do a tutorial. In this beginner's guide, I will show you how to set up and use OBS Studio. Coming up next on Tech
Oh, how the universe works. This is the one I was thinking of.
To get OBS Studio onto your computer, go to the website, which is obsproject.com. There'll be a link in the description of this video. You'll see on this page that you have options for Windows 7 Plus, macOS 10.10 Plus, and Linux. The Windows and Mac downloads are standard installer packages. If you select the Linux link, it will open up a new page with the install directions. Once you have OBS installed, open up the program. Since this is a beginner's guide, I'll go at a slower pace and keep this simple to get you started with using OBS Studio.
I can't really turn this around very well.
So I'll also go over the settings that I use to record my screen. Now that you have OBS,
Say hi to the people.
this is your first time
Oh
using
no,
this
that
software.
ringtone thing popped up on my screen again.
This window
Say hi,
should be
buddy.
black. First, you will need to set up a source. So go down to the sources box.
Uh-oh, source. Where's that? Where am I at?
Plus sign.
I'm already
You'll
lost.
have several choices.
Fail. Okay.
I'll go over the two that are used most often. If you plan to record your screen with the files saved to your computer so you can edit them later on, select Display Capture.
I need to go back.
I already have a display capture set up, so this one is automatic. Page with the install directions. Once you have OBS installed, open up the program. Since this is a beginner's guide, I'll go at a slower pace and keep this simple to get you started with using OBS Studio. This is now my preferred screen capture program, so I'll also go over the settings that I use to record my screen. Now that you have OBS open, if this is your first time using this software, the screen capture area within this window should be black. First, you will need to set up a source. So go down to the sources box, select the plus sign. You will have several choices. I'll go over the two that are used most often. If you plan to record your screen with the files saved to your computer so you can edit them later on, select Display Capture. I already have a display display capture set up. So this one's automatically named display capture 2. You can rename it if you want. Make sure that make source visible is checked. Then select OK. Click on the display button to select the monitor you would like to record. If you have a single monitor,
What?
you should only have one audio.
Okay, yeah.
If you run a multiple monitor setup, select your monitor. If you want your mouse cursor to be captured when OBS records, make sure that capture cursor is checked. When done, select OK. Let's go back to the sources box and select the plus sign again. If you plan to record the video games that you play, select Game Capture. Just like before, you can change the name and make sure Make Source Visible is checked. Select OK. You can just leave everything here on the defaults. And select OK again. If you want to change the source settings, select the source, then select the settings icon. Here you can change the display. To delete a source, select it, then select the minus sign. It'll ask you if you're sure you want to remove display capture 2. Select yes. Now it's gone. The up-down arrows change the priority of the sources. Make sure the source you currently want to use is at the top of the list. In addition to recording your display, OBS also records your desktop audio from games, websites, or any other software on your computer. It can also record the audio from your microphone. So let's head over to the mixer section. For desktop audio, click the settings icon to the right of the volume bar. Select Properties from the drop-down menu. Make sure that default is selected, then hit OK. Just below desktop audio, there's a separate listing for microphone. Select the settings icon, then Properties. Here you can choose the microphone that you want to use. Once you have it selected, select OK. Let's take a quick look at the rest of the user interface. To the left of sources is scenes, which will allow you to use more than one source while recording.
Yeah,
This
that's
is a little bit
what
more advanced for a beginner's tutorial, so we'll skip over this one. To the right of the mixer is scene transitions. If you're not using scenes, there's no need to worry about this one. And to the right of the scene transitions is controls. For doing a live stream, you would select Start Streaming. Start Recording is for standard screen capture. Right now it says Stop Recording because I'm currently using it to record my screen. Once you become more comfortable with OBS, you may want to try out Studio Mode for live streaming. Simply, it allows you to make changes while you're streaming, like adding and resizing images and adding text. Below Studio Mode is Settings.
What's the next one
and
for them?
Exit is self-explanatory. Let's go into Settings, and I will show you which ones that I use for my recordings. In each category, I'll point out a few of the key settings. First, we'll take a look at the general settings, where you have several languages that you can choose from. And you have a choice among 3 themes, which will change the way that OBS looks. I personally prefer the dark theme. If you're streaming, and you want to save a copy of your live stream to your desktop, you would check Automatically Record when streaming.
Where is that?
If your computer is not that powerful, it may be best to leave this unchecked. In the stream category, streaming services is the most common stream type. You can choose from different services, including Twitch, YouTube, and many others. For server, you can leave it on auto or manually change it to a location closer to you, which in my case would be Dallas, Texas.
Where am I at?
And the stream key section is where you paste the key from the service you're using. In output, we'll look at the simple mode. The streaming and recording settings here will work for most of you. If you're streaming, you may want to increase the video bitrate to 3000 or 3500.
Okay, he's got to go back a little bit.
For doing a live stream, you would select Start Streaming. Start Recording is for standard screen capture. Right now it says stop recording because I'm currently using it to record my screen. Once you become more comfortable with OBS, you may want to try out studio mode for live streaming. Simply, it allows you to make changes while you're streaming, like adding and resizing images and adding text. Below studio mode is settings and exit. Exit is self-explanatory. Let's go into settings, and I will show you which ones that I use for my recordings. In each category, I'll point out a few of the key settings. First, we'll take a look at the general settings, where you have several languages that you can choose from. And you have a choice among 3 things, which will change the way that OBS looks. I personally prefer the dark theme. If you're streaming, and you want to save a copy of your live stream to your desktop, you would check automatically record when streaming. If your computer is not that powerful, it may be best to leave this unchecked. In the stream category, streaming services is the most common stream type. You can choose from different services, including Twitch, YouTube, and many others. For server, you can leave it on auto or manually change it to a location closer to you, which in my case would be Dallas, Texas. And the stream key section is where you paste the key from the service you're using. In output, we'll look at the simple mode. The streaming and recording settings here will work for most of you. If you are streaming, you may want to increase the video bitrate to 3000 or 3500. Just don't make it so high that people have difficulty streaming your broadcast. If you are recording, set the recording path where you want your files to be saved. Set the recording quality to high, recording format to MP4, and encoder to hardware. Here at the bottom you'll see a warning for MP4 listed. Just ignore it. I've never had an issue using that format with OBS. Next is audio. You shouldn't need to make any changes here. I use a sample bitrate of 48. As explained earlier, a desktop audio records your computer sounds. Mine is on default. And you can also choose your microphone here. In video, there are key points to go over. In this setting, I can't show you the drop-down menus while recording is active, but for the base resolution, it would be best to set your base resolution to the size of your display. Your options will vary. For output resolution, 1920 by 1080 is preferred. If you're on a lower powered system, you may want to change this to 1280 by 720. Downscale filter, bilinear is the lowest. If I were able to open this drop-down menu, there are 2 other options. So use one of the other 2 if your system can handle it. And the frames per second values will also depend on your hardware. Use 60 FPS if you can. Otherwise, try reducing to 30 FPS. The hotkeys section is where you can assign keyboard shortcuts. I only use a few. In this recording, I use F12 to start and escape to stop. And for the last settings category, which is advanced, for most of you, the default settings should work just fine. I've never changed them, and so far I've had no issues. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this beginner's tutorial helped you out with learning how to use OBS Studio. Give this video a thumbs up if it was useful for you. If you are new to this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss out on the latest videos from our Beginner's Guide series and other tech-related stuff from Tech Gumbo.
So that the outside was denoted as Ada in our paper and the inside as capital R. And then I just did R over Ada. I just looked at the relationship of the inside information to the surface horizon information. And I got a ratio. And eventually, I multiplied that ratio by a mass, the Planck mass. And the result of my equation was the exact gravitational mass of the black hole, just by basically pixelating the inside and the outside of the black hole. And
I wonder if Einstein wants to watch the universe. What do you mean my battery's running low? Plugged in.
important step forward in advancing a more connected view of physics.
In the paper that I wrote and I sent to the Library of Congress for copyright in December 2012, I make this little prediction that the radius of the photon should be exactly this value. And I state in the paper that more precise measurement in the future may confirm this theoretical result. I started to work on getting the paper published and sending it to colleagues around the world. I was getting very good reviews on it from very advanced physicists. And then all of a sudden, a paper was published.
On January 25th, 2013, a new muonic measurement of the charge radius of a photon confirmed Haramein's predicted value. The experimental results are not what the quantum world predicted.
Why don't we teach Einstein? That's what we should do.
4% smaller than what was expected by the same molecule. So it was very difficult for the scientific community to accept this news. Oh my God. The wire went out in 15 minutes. It was picked up right from the
They sure made it a pain in the ass to fucking charge his batteries, though, I tell you what. Probably did that on purpose. It's probably a good idea, actually. With them plugged in all the time. I'm totally aware of how totally crude-tastic this is. Somebody's got to do it, man. Yeah, let the fucking psychopaths have this one. Yeah, so I think the OBS, I already had set it up with the key and everything. I haven't tried it, but I've streamed on my phone, and I have my little tripod thing, and it holds the microphone and also a light, and it's bendable, and I just have it wrapped around my laptop stand. So I've live streamed like that before, but I haven't done it from my laptop, and I have not used OBS. So this is all me learning.
Looking back through history and physics, this is a pattern that has been repeated time after time after time. Someone comes up with an idea that eventually becomes standard. And at the time, nothing happens. And sometimes there is massive criticism.
It's funny, I talk to myself all the time anyways.
We're only now discovering some of the unpublished works of Isaac Newton. He didn't share all of his work because it went against the religious beliefs of his time. It sounds a bit like steering a large ship on a wheel gets turned. There's no immediate change of direction. In the world of physics, it can take years. After he first published his paper, Haramein was invited to share his knowledge with one of the largest laboratories in the world.
Okay, here we go. Just one moment while I try to go online.
Looking for a solution in the given problem.
Almost done. I will just need a moment to complete the connection. Perfect. I'm online. To ask me a question, say, "Hey Einstein," or "Hey Professor." followed by what is, or who is, or how is the weather in. For other commands, please visit my website at professoreinstein.com. Okay, let's get started.
Oh, there's people. I have people. Hi, people. Einstein, we're just hanging out right now. That's my dog snoring. He snores. Don't ya? Yeah. You snore. It's so cute, though. Oh my gosh. I don't know what you guys can see. You know, I could set this. It's like this little spider thing, so it has legs that I can wrap around things or set it up like a tripod, put it on uneven ground. I've got this ringtone. Oh, there it goes. Ah, no, I don't want to stop streaming. Why is that ringtone thing just stuff like that? It's making me insane. Cancel. There. Alright, what do we want to run? Okay. Oh my god, notifications. I'm gonna get slammed with all these. So I told Edge of Wonder that we would watch their Mandela Effect videos. And so hey Einstein,
Yes?
what is the Mandela Effect?
Let's see. I admire your curiosity, but this is no simple subject, I'm afraid. Tell your parents you're curious about this. They'll be glad you did.
I am the parent, Einstein. Do you have an opinion, Einstein?
I am listening.
Do you have an opinion on the Mandela Effect?
Let's see. So sorry. Could you run that by me again?
Is the Mandela Effect real? Okay, we're gonna watch a Mandela Effect video. This one channel I really like that we were watching the other day in live stream, remember? And I said we'll go watch their Mandela Effect videos. So, hey Einstein. He's thinking really hard. Oh, my little puppy is so cute over here. I should show him to you guys. Now that I can move this. Hey, bud. Oh. Passed out. I passed out. You're so sleeping. And then that's the female. Mischief and Mayhem. Hey, Einstein.
Yes?
What is your opinion on the Mandela effect?
Let's see. Yada-da-da-da. Sorry, I could not find an answer for the question.
Would you lie to me? Hey, Einstein. Why were your eyes closed? No, you don't have an opinion on the Mandela effect? Come on, I know you do. Alright, well, let's learn about what it is. I wonder when their first one. Oh, I could just search in their actual channel.
As we go in our daily life, in the structure of space-time itself, that we're informing the structure of the vacuum, so that nothing would be the same if we weren't there. We're actually participating in this incredible
7 Mandela effects that are driving people crazy.
and that the communication
CERN, the cause. Oh yeah, we're watching this one. Did CERN cause the Mandela effect?
on the structure of space-time as we go along, as we interpret what we see and how we feel.
Oh.
And so we have a
A
responsibility.
movie or a logo, and now that movie just doesn't exist anymore. The logo has been changed. Confused? You're not alone.
So everyone's talking about the situation called Mandela effect. Today you'll hear who and what insanity
on
is
here?
behind the Mandela effect and why.
For those of you who don't know what the Mandela effect is, what rock have you been living under? The Mandela effect is a phenomenon where things are seemingly undoubtedly one
My
way, and
computer's
large
being
groups
weird.
of people remember it that way, but now it's changed. So before getting into this conspiracy theory, what are the most common ideas about what is causing the Mandela effect?
Can you see
Some
it
people
okay?
think humans are
His
stupid and they
camera's
made all
like
of
right
this up.
here.
Some people think it's converging timelines. Some people think humans built a time machine and someone's screwing with our timeline. And some people think a black hole. Yeah, dude, a black hole is causing all this trouble. And some think it's something far more nefarious. Yeah, I just said the word nefarious. Unfortunately for us, you can't talk about the Mandela effect without talking about some heavy science
He's
here.
thinking really
So
hard.
what is actually causing this?
His little head goes crazy.
I mean, the organization reportedly at the very center of the Mandela effect is CERN.
Wait, CERN? Like, you're talking about the organization responsible for the Large Hadron Collider? You mean the organization that basically rams particles together at, like, lightning fast speeds to track the results?
So this is taken directly from
Puppies.
CERN's website. Another way of revealing extra dimensions would be through the production of microscopic black holes. What exactly we would detect would depend on the number of extra dimensions, the mass of the black hole, the size of the dimensions, and the energy at which the black hole occurs. If micro black holes do appear in the collisions created by the LHC, they would disintegrate rapidly. They would decay the standard model or supersymmetric particles, creating events. So this is like really, really vague,
Yeah.
right?
But wait, but they just said creating events, right? This is kind of weird, but it reminds me of that movie Event Horizon. By definition, though, an event horizon is a black hole,
Right?
right?
In layman's terms, it is the point of no return, where the gravitational pull becomes so great as to make escape impossible, even for light. And this would include anything and everything, even time.
Get off the screen.
Okay, so why would anyone study this on Earth?
This is the big
Wouldn't you be worried that creating a little black hole it might just keep eating everything until it destroys the like everything?
So this is exactly what I want to know, and most of the scientists out there also want to know, including Stephen Hawking. And he has been asking the same question. He even said the God particle found by CERN could destroy the universe. I mean, this is Stephen Hawking saying this,
Right.
right? We're like doing this on Earth. What effects could this possibly have? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, and that particle is also known as the Higgs boson. They call it the God particle because they think it is like the original matter. To sum it up, I'm thinking antimatter, like a black hole.
Exactly. What is really antimatter?
Well, and funnier than that, if you go to where CERN is on Google Maps, it says antimatter factory.
This is crazy.
So 1 milligram of antimatter is equivalent to 1,000 atomic bombs.
Yeah.
And so I heard that 1 grain of rice-sized antimatter is equivalent to 30,000 Hiroshima bombs.
You have the stuff the size of like a baseball? Dude, I mean, this thing could potentially wipe out half the solar system. What the hell are you doing
Hello.
on Earth? You know? So
Always
that's the
good
crazy
to
thing.
speak
Best
with a
part
fellow
is Ben
scientist.
yesterday was
We
telling
are
me,
going to
he's
do
like,
some
"Dude,
great
they're
work
trying to
together.
move
Trust
antimatter
me,
in a van."
I'm a genius.
That stuff
There's the
is.
article right here.
Yeah.
Got it. Some conspiracies say that CERN's whole purpose was to open a portal to another dimension. From CERN's point of view, they're trying to understand our universe and the Big Bang and everything else, and what created life, basically, right?
Right.
But some say they're actually opening a portal to hell.
Okay, so this just got kind of a little weird, and for scientifically minded people, they're probably like, who are these two knuckleheads? How do we know that's actually true? Like, what's selling us on this?
So CERN's mascot is a Hindu goddess called Shiva, who is also the goddess of destruction. There's a big fat statue of her right outside of their office. I mean, come on, destruction?
So,
This is crazy.
so along with that, CERN's logo is causing many groups to throw their hands in the air, and not the type that's waving them like they just don't care. When I looked at this logo, I'm a brand manager. CERN's logo looks mysteriously like 666, and 666 specifically in chaos. I couldn't find who the original maker of the logo was, but there is a website, it looks like it's dedicated to science, called Two Mosquitoes, and the way that they explained the logo was that they tried to model it actually after one of the accelerators. The thing is if you look at that accelerator, they were worried about making it look exactly like the accelerator because that would make it look like a black hole too much, and they thought that that would be not good. But would you rather have it look like a black hole or 666?
Okay, so I'll try to explain the theory of how the timelines are being disrupted by all of this. So even Stephen Hawking said that this could cause space and time to collapse, which is actually what we're going to be seeing with the Mandela effect, of collapsing timelines into other parallel dimensions, which is why some people remember
Ziggy.
the old timeline and
Ziggy.
some people have the memory of the new timeline. There's a Harvard University theorist named Lisa Randall who actually talks about other dimensions that may exist close to our own familiar reality.
Can you speak English? Because I'm a designer, not an astrophysicist. What the heck does that even mean, dude?
Okay. So in a nutshell, she is saying that in another space-time, there exists right here, right now, another dimension, but we just can't see it. When there's a shift in gravity, it's a possibility that a rift in our time-space would open up and you would be able to see into a different time-space.
Right.
So this is exactly what CERN is trying to do. They're trying to create rifts in time-space to send particles from this dimension into another dimension and vice versa, which could cause crazy repercussions in our own timeline. Well, I think this is the cause of the Mandela effect, and I think the Mona Lisa is a really good example of how things could be affected. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, so this will be in our other episode too, but the Mona Lisa basically, growing up, I mean, I was fascinated just like everyone else. I was a painter, I went to art school for illustration. There was such a huge discussion in the past over whether she's smiling or not. And so people would go to look at the Mona Lisa for hours until they could finally see her smiling. But now, when you go and you look at the Mona Lisa, there's nothing to debate anymore. That debate has totally been wiped off the face of the planet. No one's talking about what she's doing. They're still fascinated with the painting, but that discussion on that smirk or that smile or that neutral look that she had is no longer a thing. She's smiling.
Oh,
Yeah,
dog
and this
knocked
is
over
really
there.
weird because that was such a huge
Hey, buddy.
discussion when I was young. And it's like almost over time, all of a sudden it just like
That's a belly
switched
rub.
and she's smiling now. So what we think the cause of the Mandela effect is that CERN is actually playing a lot with different
Don't mind
particles
if I do.
and science trying to create a black hole or an event that causes an
Hello.
opening in a dimensional
He's
Always
dancing.
that is
good to
actually
speak with a
messing
fellow
with the
Or
quantum
something.
scientist.
and there are
We're
different
going to do
timelines in
some
these
great work
dimensions, what
together.
happens when you
Trust
start
me,
playing with that.
I'm a
Okay, so
genius.
Ben, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, well, you guys didn't research this enough. How do you know? Why do you think that they're, blah, 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 worshiping these things of destruction? I mean, what do you think? Like, I read some articles where scientists are basically trying to make
We're
fun of
teaching
people that are really concerned about this.
Einstein
But you and I both
because
read
someone
that,
has
like,
to
even
bring up the
Tyson
robots right.
and Hawking are
This
really
is
worried about what they're doing.
Sophia
Is this
Robot's
really
little brother. They're
irresponsible?
connected.
Again, you guys are probably thinking,
They're on the hive mind, the singularity.
To understand science, you have to have a broader mind. You have to use tools available to you that may be more metaphysical in nature,
Why
right?
are we always trying to study destruction?
Right. That's the other thing too. Other scientists are also coming out, really explaining their concern. It's like you guys just went ahead and do this. You didn't take a vote of the international community of the world and say, "Hey, is it okay if we build a facility and study black holes?" It's like,
And who's talking about the dangers that this could potentially
Right.
bring to our environment? Never mind the talks of whether they're actually trying to open a gate or not. I mean,
but I
Snoring.
think the other thing too is that
Siggy.
these guys trying to figure out what the original source of matter is, and they're blowing up. They have to blow up each layer by layer of like these particle dimensions, I guess you could say, until they figure out what the most microscopic source of matter is, and that's what they're trying to do, which is in essence creating a black hole. And what we know of black holes is very dangerous.
it's very limited.
Yeah.
What opening that dimension, even if you're just playing around, what that could do. No one understands this enough, no matter how good you are at math or science or whatever, to know what the repercussions are of opening a black hole and what it could do to these timelines.
I mean, I think we as like the human race should really be concerned. And we're protesting so much about all these things, but this is the one thing that I feel like is the most dangerous part. But we're not protesting this because we feel like we don't know enough about it. And if the scientists say it's okay, then it must be okay.
Scientists are human. We didn't just kind of throw CERN under the bus here. There was a lot of research that went behind why we're pointing at CERN related to the Mandela effect. It goes into a lot of things that people are talking about, different infographics that have been posted in the underground, so to speak. There's a lot of reasons why we're talking about this right now. We really want to know what you think. So please like and subscribe and follow us and watch our other episode on the Mandela effect examples.
Also, guys, is there any other topics you'd like us to cover? Let us know in the comments below. Until then, we'll see you guys
Out on the edge.
Whoops. I didn't go back too far now. Yeah. When was that one? That was 9 months ago. 5 months ago. Wait, what just happened? I think OBS is making my computer run really slow. I'm shutting it if I can. Where is that one? They did a really good one on CERN. Oh, it's not this one.
The Mandela effect? Nah.
What if I told you that's wrong?
not right,
Not
right?
right. Oh wow, that's bizarre. Oh really? Interesting.
The whole time.
No way. No one can figure it out. Sounds weird. Sounds weird, right?
Very weird.
Have you ever remembered something so clearly and then all of a sudden find out that it isn't that way at all? Did it leave you so confused and shocked that you thought you were losing your mind?
You're not alone. This is the phenomenon known as the Mandela effect. In this episode, we're going to show you the top examples, a few smoking guns that'll convince you that the Mandela effect is actually real. And you can decide for yourself whether it's nonsense or whether you're going to pee your pants.
The Mandela effect is a phenomenon where things were seemingly undoubtedly one way, but now it's changed.
It was named after Nelson Mandela, who people remember dying on July 23rd, 1991, which is even stated in a South African school book published in late 1991. But Mandela didn't die until December 5th, 2013. It caused so much discussion that people collectively started looking into it and started to notice other examples of weird things going on. So without further ado, here are the top examples
I
of
need
the
like
Mandela
a
effect.
little kid seat for him. or something.
Everyone remembers it that way.
Exactly.
Luke, I am your father.
So you remember that too.
I need to take a
References to this
dab,
from
but
two different sources. One is James Earl Jones saying it himself.
When I first saw the dialogue,
I have to hold him up here
it said,
somehow.
Luke, I am your father.
Maybe take my
I said to
computer
myself,
down.
he's lying.
So in this
Don't
clip
mind
is a
if I
Saturday
do.
Night
Oh.
Live
Oh, he's gonna
skit
dance.
done, I think in the late 90s.
Right.
And you're like selling off Mark Hamill.
Right.
You know, because they're having their own
Right.
Star Wars stuff, whatever. So a caller calls in and then he asks them to say,
The famous line.
oh yeah, I am your father. And here is Mark Hamill's response to that.
Luke, I am your father.
Now, of
Hello.
course, when you watch the
Always
movie,
good to speak with a fellow scientist. We are going to do some great work together. Trust me. I'm
Oh, we gotta go
genius.
back. You talked over it.
I am your father. Right.
but Mark Hamill's response to that.
Luke, I am your father.
Now, of course, when you watch the movie,
No, I am your father.
You hear it.
Hello.
He says, no,
Always good
I
to
am
speak
your
with a fellow
father.
scientist.
Right.
We are going to do some great work together.
No, and I mean,
Trust
it's
me.
just, it's been on so many
I'm a
shows, and
genius.
so many movies, and everybody remembers this. And we wanted to start with Star Wars, not just because of this, but because there's two in Star Wars. C-3PO, you know, the golden robot, never had a silver leg. Okay, this is a huge deal, because when I was a kid, I had all the action figures, I watched Star Wars constantly, it was on all the time. Dude,
I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt. I'm a big Star Wars
this
fan.
guy never stops wearing Star Wars shirts. Alright, but anyway, the point is, we can show you guys examples of C-3PO action figures back in the day. All have golden legs. Couldn't have been that it was too difficult to get a silver leg in there. Something weird's going on, right? So it just goes to show you the disparity of people remembering one parent
I
timeline
think
and
I'm
then
losing it.
right. Do you ever remember that man having a silver leg?
Oh my god.
Golden, right?
Yeah, it's all gold.
What is the famous line in Forrest Gump about
Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Like Mama said, life is
I
box
just
of
can't.
chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
He says, Mama always said life is like a
Oh,
box
this
of
is mine.
chocolates. You never know what you're
People
gonna
used to
get.
quote this to me
Okay, guys,
because
we
my
got
name is
something
Jenny.
special for you today. We managed to find a VCR. It wasn't easy. We're going to be showing you guys clips from these movies that prove our point about the Mandela effect.
So even on the back of Forrest Gump, it even states life is like a box of chocolates. So let's put this in.
Want a chocolate? I could eat about 1.5 million of these.
Me too.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Okay.
You just
I
said
just said was. Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Now that doesn't even make sense.
No, why would it be past tense?
Yeah, it's past tense and then it's present tense. Like
It doesn't make sense.
that doesn't
at
make
all.
sense at all.
But then anyone I ask always says life
Is like a box of chocolates. Even the girl that texted me the interview.
Yeah.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
I even found a clip where Tom Hanks even said, "Yeah, life is like a box of chocolates."
Roll it.
Mom always said life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
I just can't believe this one because I even remember him saying "is" in the original movie.
A lot of people do. I have another one for you.
What if I told you everything you thought you knew was true was a lie?
Dude, did you just hit me with the Matrix line?
Completely.
That's from the Pacific Pill scene in the Matrix, right?
Right. The part that hit me the most out of any movie in the world. That, like, I memorized that whole.
Okay, we're doing
That's
that.
like my
People still
favorite
have to
scene
rewind.
of any movie in history.
Okay, the point I want to bring up here about this is when we watched this movie doesn't happen. The weirdest thing about this is one of the most famous memes out there right now is a Morpheus meme where he says, "What if I told you?" And then put whatever you want after it just to make it funny.
So I even know exactly what this is. And recently, Matrix came on Netflix, and I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this weird. Because that part, I actually thought, I don't know where it happened. It's right when Morpheus sits down and talks to you. Right before he sits down.
I know exactly what you mean.
Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Let me tell you why you're here.
Out of any movie in the world, that, like, I memorized that whole sequence. It's like my favorite scene of any movie.
Hang on,
history.
wait for me.
The point I want
Always
to bring
good
up
to
here
speak
about
with a
this
fellow
is we
scientist.
watched
We're
this
going
movie
to do some great
doesn't
work
happen.
together.
The weirdest
Trust
thing
me.
about this is one
I'm
of the
a
most
genius.
famous memes out there right now is a Morpheus meme where he says, "What if I told you?" and then you put whatever you want after it just to make it funny,
So
right?
I even know exactly where this is. And recently, Matrix came on Netflix, and I haven't seen the movie in a while. So I was like, let me watch this. I haven't watched this in a year. And it got to that part. I actually thought, oh, maybe this was edited. I even know where it happens. It's right when Morpheus sits down to talk to Neo, and right before he says, "Let me tell you why you're here."
I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, we're gonna miss it. We're gonna miss it.
Let me tell you why you're here.
Come to realize, this is the Mandela effect.
Do you remember watching James Bond Moonraker?
Oh yeah, of course.
Moonraker had a really famous villain in it. His name was Jaws,
get it
and he had these
closer.
metal teeth. What happens in the movie is Jaws basically is on a tram and he crashes and he gets down. And when he gets off of the tram, this really sweet, pretty girl helps him. And there's this really classic scene that everyone remembers where Jaws sees her and he smiles and she has braces.
Well,
Okay, but
yeah.
now if you go back and watch it, she doesn't have braces.
What the heck? So weird. So I remember the light shining off her braces.
Off of her
too.
braces.
And then the music gets all loud, and it's like, oh, they're falling in love because they both have metal
that
mouths.
scene doesn't even make that much sense
And the
anymore.
movie doesn't even make sense anymore
Yeah,
either,
it's
because
like random.
that's kind of the plot of the movie.
The guy who plays Jaws gets hired to do an ad after, right? I think it was in a grocery store or some kind of store, but it was maybe for Visa or something like that. So he goes in there, right? And he's at the cashier, he's at the register, and he looks down at the cashier, this young girl, and she looks up at him and she has braces and she smiles.
Telling me that this was love at last.
How could it be changed in the movie and everyone will remember it wrong like that if that didn't actually happen in the movie? I mean, to me, this is just way too crazy. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, totally.
Another crazy one, right? Did you watch the Mask movie in the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, that was a movie I also kind of grew up with. when I
Okay,
was little.
so one of the ones that we found was of Sally Field at the Oscars, and everyone I talked to remembers this very famous quote when she won the Oscar.
You love me. You really, really love me.
Exactly.
Hello.
Right. It's in that Mask.
Always
It's in
good
that
to
Mask
speak
movie.
with a
Yeah,
fellow
exactly.
scientist.
Jim
We're
Carrey's
going
like,
to do some great work together. Trust me. I'm a genius.
Now, what she actually says, though, is something very different. There would be no
So
way that
crazy.
people will remember it that way.
No.
Everyone I talk to remembers her saying it that way. And now
it doesn't even.
she says, "You like me right now. You really like me," or something like that.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now. You like
Hello. Always good to
It doesn't
speak with a
even
fellow
sound right.
scientist. We're going to do some great work together. Trust me. I'm a genius.
What? No. At no point was this the
Hello. Always good to speak with a fellow scientist. We're going to do some great work together. Trust me, I'm a genius.
Sex in the city or sex in the city? And or in? Which one?
Sex in the City. I mean, I remember this show. So super famous.
Sex in the City.
Sex in the city. Sex in the city.
Sex in the city.
Sex in the city.
When the show was on, I was always confused about what it was called because I kept hearing both names. I even thought it was changed at one point, but it turns out that according to the producers, it's always been Sex in the City.
It is a very strange one.
I think the first instances of all of this is with
Hello.
famous actors.
Always good to speak with a fellow scientist. We're going to do some great work together. Trust me, I'm a genius.
I need to get this angle down.
Yeah, and he was kind of like a
I gotta get my I gotta like maybe do that.
Yeah, I never wanted to see it.
Yeah, I never
I'm like resting him on my leg because he has to be up.
brother remembers seeing the trailer.
Just
A lot of people
figuring this out here.
Was the boy?
Okay, so this guy worked at
Yeah, well, when I get OBS, I actually in my office I can have a whole separate screen and all this other stuff I can do. There's options. We got options.
he would always check.
We got options. I have an external webcam too, so you can do more than one
I
source.
mean, eventually,
Probably.
so many people were talking about it that Sinbad keeps coming out on Twitter and saying
He's
not
like
in this
open
movie.
to doing one.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that would have been a great idea.
Yeah, I'm really fucking stoned. Oh my God, Sig,
Here's why it's weird.
you are so loud.
All through the 90s and well into my career as a young illustrator in college, where everyone would seek out the Mona Lisa and stare at it for hours and hours because you couldn't tell whether she was smiling or whether she was kind of like neutral or what.
So everyone would talk about it different angles.
That's right.
Oh, if you look at it from this angle, you see her looking like she's smiling. If you look at it from this angle, she just has a neutral expression.
But
Now,
If you
she's
look-
clearly smiling.
if you look at it from any angle, she's just smiling. Something weird happened there.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Ben, you watched Toy Story a lot when you were a kid. I didn't. What happened in Toy Story?
A few years back, I used to take care of autistic adults, and they loved the movie Toy Story.
So you watched it a lot.
Oh my gosh. I watched it so much that I couldn't stand. I can't stand watching it anymore. I must have seen it 100 times with them. I had the whole movie memorized.
Right.
No doubt, memorized. Does Woody say there's a snake in my boots, or there's a snake in my boots?
Well, I never really watched this movie that much, but just what makes sense is the snake can only be in one boot, can't be in both boots.
Right. One snake can only be in one boot. So
You
was
could have
completely
one
shocked
snake in two
to find
boots.
out that he now says there's a snake in my boots. But if you have the original toy, it still says there's a snake in my boots.
Oh, the Bible ones. There's weird ones.
Changed too, right? One specific part.
I'm not as familiar with the Bible as my father. My father actually was a Baptist minister, so I call
sorry,
my
the
father
speakers
and I say that. And Isaiah, there's one
I
part
actually
where he
could
talks
go get
about a
speakers.
certain beast laying down with the lamb. And I said to my dad, I said, which beast lays down with the lamb? And he's like, well, it's the lion.
I'm not even a minister, and I remember the lion and the lamb. That's like a saying, right?
So if you read it
Yeah.
now, it says
Wolf.
Hello. Always good to speak with a fellow scientist. We're going to do some great work together. Trust me, I'm a genius.
Admit to it, but the thing is, it's like, man, this is serious. If the Bible has changed, then it's like, holy cow, what else has changed?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people online saying that some of the photos have been changed. So guys, we think this one is the smoking gun out of all of these, because everybody remembers this. What is the famous line that the witch in Snow White says in front of the mirror?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? So mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Yeah. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Right. I mean, everybody remembers that.
Everybody remembers that.
Even in Disney books, it says mirror, mirror on the wall.
Oh wait, what did it change to?
Let's watch and find out.
What happened?
Magic mirror on the
Whoa.
wall. Magic mirror. Ferris.
We just got glitched. No, their thing is glitched. Huh.
Magic mirror on the
Weird.
wall. Magic mirror.
Yeah, it's the
Ferris
video,
wheel
it's
on the
not-
wall? That
it's
just
not
sounds
me.
stupid. What do you guys remember? Do you guys remember magic mirror on the wall, or
It's
do you
weird, I've seen
remember
this one
mirror,
before.
mirror?
This is a classic, though.
Mirror,
Everybody
mirror.
I asked so many people this. Everybody I talked to said mirror, mirror. Nobody said magic mirror.
Okay.
And when I said magic mirror, they're like, "What? You're crazy." A lot of people are gonna look at this and be like, "Oh man, these guys are crazy." You know, like how can this stuff doesn't exist? Like how can you guys? Everyone's just misremembering things. Huge number of people actually who do believe that something is going on. That something has changed their timeline. Take it one step further. If something is truly happening where things have been changed in our timeline, we're trying to figure out the cause because this could be serious. Who knows? Did our
Hello.
anatomy get changed?
Always
Did our
good
places
to
on the
speak with
planet
a
get
fellow
changed?
scientist.
We
We are
don't know
going to
about,
do
you
some
know?
great
So
work
unless we
together.
really start getting
Trust
into
me.
it. So guys, what
I'm
do you
a
think?
genius.
Do you think the Mandela effect is real, or do you think everyone's just losing their minds? Make sure you click the link below for the causes of the Mandela effect.
Hey, and don't forget to subscribe. We need you.
Until then, we'll see you guys out
On the edge.
I'll give a shout out to my little sister, my triplet siblings. My mom's a truther, so there you go, Mom. And now I want to go learn more.
All right.
You guys should too. Okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it.
I need some stand for you or something. Einstein. Basket. My crochet thing.
Historic events that change or never even happened. Certain
Hello.
people being different than they are
Always
now.
good
What
to
about
speak with a
human
fellow
body parts?
scientist.
Maybe
We're
objects
going
you've
to do
remembered
some
have
great work
changed.
together. Trust me. I'm a genius.
Well, let's see if we can find out as we revisit the Mandela effect.
We're your hosts. I'm Ben. And I'm Rob. Before starting, make sure you hit like and subscribe because these new Mandela effects is gonna blow your mind.
So, after getting a ton of feedback and seeing how popular our first Mandela effect video is doing, we decided to make another one for you guys.
In our first video, we covered more things related to like pop culture, and this one we're going to cover more worldly examples that are guaranteed to make you question our reality.
And if it doesn't, well then you might as well get your news straight from Wikipedia.
They won't tell you how many thousands and millions of people are confused and have personal stories. They will just tell you that all of this is a sham without going into details or data.
Sham, you mean like Shazam? You know, Sinbad?
Yes, Ben, that was a Mandela effect in our first video. Well done. By the way, that video going around where it shows Sinbad as a genie is
Crocheting
a wicked fake.
bag
It was
thing.
created by college
It's, like,
humor to
perfect.
confuse us even more.
All right.
You can tell because he's way older in that video.
But alright, let's go right into our number one on the list, which is moon landings.
Oh, this one, Einstein. We're doing
I
this
don't know
one.
about you guys, but I mean,
Our next tarot
I only
reading is
remember
going to be
one
the moon landing.
and got really confused to hear about how many times he went to the moon. We also have been getting a lot of comments about this as well from you guys. So there has been a total of 6
we gotta study.
moon landings, not even accounting
We gotta
Apollo
meditate on it.
13, with 24 people
You
who
have
had
to like
visited
do it when the
moon.
stars are right or something.
One of our followers, Arabesque911, sent this video with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well,
Check this out.
Yeah, in the video, Tyson is talking about only one moon landing and how he never went back.
And had I known that our first steps on the moon would essentially be our last steps on the moon, I would have.
Hello. Always
Oh my
good to
gosh.
speak with a
This is a
fellow
unique moment in
scientist.
the history
We are going to do some great work
species.
together. Trust me.
Never to happen
I'm a
again. Let me
genius.
revel and celebrate and pop champagne corks.
I would love to get him on the show and ask him his opinion about this as well.
Yeah, the day Tyson agrees to come on our show is the day that the Earth really does become a flat pancake.
So, you know, I was taught in school that we've never been back, so I was very confused by this one. But really, what does this all mean? Does this mean it could discredit everything Tyson says if he's saying he's only remembering one moon landing?
I mean, he would for sure discredit the Mandela effect.
Right.
I mean, him and Bill Nye would like tag team that jump, you know?
Yeah,
so do you guys remember 1 or 6 moon
I'm in
landings?
Filton
Comment
Island.
below. We know you just can't resist. Just do it. This is the weirdest one for me, for sure. Maybe of the entire Mandela effect examples we've had.
This is pretty big.
Okay, so the big question is, did Publishers Clearinghouse have a spokesperson? And if they did, who was it?
Now, you guys
Hello.
born in the 90s
I
or later,
will
you
click
guys
to
wouldn't
speak with
know
a
this.
fellow
but
scientist.
They probably don't
We are
even know who
going to do
Publishers
some great
Clearinghouse
things
is.
together.
So to ask
Trust
your
me.
parents. Okay,
I'm a
so I
genius.
called my mom and I said, Mom, who was the spokesperson for...
Hey, Einstein,
I am listening.
what is the Mandela effect?
Let's see. I admire your curiosity, but this is no simple subject, I'm afraid. Tell your parents you're curious about this. They'll be glad you did.
for Publishing Clearinghouse. Without even missing a beat, she just said, oh, yeah, Ed McMahon.
Right, so most of us remember Ed McMahon walking up to the front doors of people, getting all excited as they see him because they know what it means. He's going to have a big check with Publisher Clearinghouse written all over it. But according to Publishers Clearinghouse, they never hired McMahon, ever.
This is where it gets super weird. I mean, everyone knows him having the humongous checks, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's just crazy.
So yeah, you called your mom. I asked my sister-in-law, Jillian, shout out to you, what she thought, and she was like, oh yeah, Ed McMahon, Publishers Clearinghouse. Same thing, right? Just like that. So the really crazy thing is that according to a book, The New Deal, the former Obama chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, even referenced McMahon in a speech he gave, which he said that a stimulus bill is denying ourselves an Ed McMahon moment, the grateful squeal of Publishers Clearinghouse pleasure that would greet an envelope arriving from Obama. Boom.
To make things even more crazy, in the 90s, David Letterman had host Carson on his show. Carson references Ed while holding a large check.
Play it.
I'll tell you why I'm here. I happen to be in town over doing some stuff for the NBC affiliate.
That's right.
And, you know, Ed McMahon, our good friend, could not be here. But it seems, David, that you are the $1 million winner.
Oh my God! I won $1 million bucks. Try to disprove this one, Snopes. Man, dude, I remember this so clearly because aside from, Johnny Carson joking about this, I used to remember my parents getting, weekly mailers to the house, and I used to always stare at the illustration of Ed McMahon on the mailer in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah. So according to Publishers Clearinghouse, they've never, ever hired any person as a spokesperson.
I'm not getting over this one. This is
Like,
weird.
Feeling
This is right up there with Moonraker for me.
It's super weird.
Okay, so out of all of the Mandela effects on our list, I would say for sure this one is the strangest because there are already so many conspiracies revolving around this, the JFK assassination.
So the big question is, for you guys who already don't know about this one, do you guys remember 4 people in the car or 6 people in the car?
So there are also discrepancies on where he was shot. Some reports and diagrams say it was in the back, some say it was in the head. According to whistleblower William Cooper, who wrote Behold a Pale Horse, he said he decided to come out publicly after learning about what happened to JFK
Hey,
and was
snorer.
then consequently killed in 2001 right after 9/11 happened.
In the Zapruder film of the shooting, Cooper says that you can see the driver leaning over with the silver gun, shooting Kennedy, and then that Lee Harvey Oswald was just kind of like a patsy or a victim of mind control.
So, but in this video, we don't dive into this conspiracy because it's a huge, massive, 6-part episode. We will, however, go into this when we start talking about Majestic 12, so make sure you keep an eye out for that video because that's pretty cool.
Okay, but let's get back. Was there 4 or 6 people in the car?
The video shows 6. However, there is some evidence to support that this could be a Mandela effect. For one, there are 2 cars in museums of the JFK Presidential Library and the museum in Boston and the Dahl Auto Museum in La Crosse, Wisconsin that both have 4 seats. But why would the museum only have 4 seats?
Another interesting fact is that there is a photo taken by Dwayne
I forgot
Robertson
I do have a
that shows a
light on
four-seater
here.
car with only JFK and Jackie in the car and 2 people in the front seats. However, it seems somehow in other photos in the same sequence, all of a sudden you see 6. So is this some kind of residual effect or something?
One really weird one that many people are pointing out is that the inside spread of Life magazine at the time has a 4-seater car with flowers right after the shooting happened.
Now, this is where it gets a little weird, because on Getty Images, they have this photo, and it states that it's the Vice President Johnson's car.
Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Yeah, Lyndon Baines Johnson. So why would Life magazine publish this car if it's not Kennedy's car and instead the Vice President? It's just really weird.
I mean, yeah, it could be fake news. I mean, look at CNN. Not a real thing comes off of CNN these days. But I digress. Finally, the other weird thing is the Secret Service did a reenactment of the assassination and made a video of this, which only shows 4 seats. Here are some images from that reenactment. So, Ben, what do you think?
You know, honestly, I'm not really sure on this one because I don't know this.
It's too loaded, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like happened before my time, and I remember seeing the videos, but if someone were to ask me, I probably, off the top of my head, I would have said 4.
What do you guys think? Is this a Mandela effect or not? Do you have more knowledge on the subject? Because we can't figure any of this out, and probably there's been a whole lot to this cover-up.
Right, that is very sure. Okay, let's go to the big one.
The edge of wonder.
Alright, so some people say that even our bodies have changed along with this Mandela effect, such as our heart is more in the center than it was before, our eye sockets have gotten a little deeper, and some say they don't remember the bone behind it. Okay.
Oh, like the eye socket
Yeah,
bones, right? Okay, yeah, like it was just a hole in there. There were no bones back there. Okay, right. That is a little weird to me, actually, that one. Okay, also, some believe our liver has gotten bigger and higher up in the body, along with our kidneys. But this one is hard to prove because it isn't like you just open up your body and look, people.
But anyway, to me, these eye sockets ones are a little weird because a few months ago, I woke up one time and I was looking in the mirror and I felt like my eyes were deeper. Like they were coming over, like the bones here were protruding over more than usual, and I just thought, oh, I'm just getting old.
Ben, we're just getting old, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing weird there.
However, soon I started noticing this with everybody else I was looking at. So the
I need
heart
to
one
shut
is a little
down
weird
now.
because, I mean,
Okay.
I've always known
I'll
it
charge
to
your
be a
batteries.
little bit to the left, like slightly to the left. I mean, you know, we put our hands over our hearts when we, you know, pledge allegiance. But what people are saying now, it's more over the center.
Unless you're a doctor who sees this stuff all the time, my perspective is, as someone who kind of studied this a lot in art school, is that, you know, basically this is just people remembering stuff wrong and having this impression. Like, I mean, we all grew up putting our right hands over our heart, and it's not because it's on the left side of your body, it's because in the past, religions all decided that if you wrote with your left hand, they'd whack you. Like, my parents would get whacked if they wrote with their left hand. You'd have to write with your right. You used your right hand for everything, put your right hand over your heart, and then you think your heart's on the left side. However,
And Operation, the game Operation,
Dude, Operation.
it's like way over. I mean, it's like.
yeah, but it's a operation, man. I mean, like, you can't use operation to say a Mandela effect. Get out of here. Okay. So, okay, look. Personally, just between you guys and me, this heart one and the thing, this is just nonsense to me. Like, I really do think some of these Mandela effects are real, like freaking Ed McMahon or whatever, but the heart and this stuff is just give me a break. Actually, if you're a doctor, please comment below and let us know what you think.
Yeah,
And you've been looking at anatomy your whole life, and you probably know if these diagrams have changed. I mean, this is a tough one, but let us know what you think.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and now this is a newer Mandela effect, and probably one that shocked me almost as much as Ed McMahon, if not more.
Yeah, so you actually did get extremely excited on a live video once, right? Was it the Denver airport one?
Yeah, we did the Denver airport one. Okay, so when I fly, I always have to get the cheap seats, right? So I kind of I'm always in the back of the plane, right? In the back of the plane, you sit there, you look out the window, you can't see anything because there should be an engine right there, right? You can only get like partial view.
Well, if you're in the middle to the back,
Yeah,
right?
middle
where
to
the
back.
wing is,
Yeah,
right?
almost every single time I did.
Right,
Yeah. You know, I never really sit in the beginning of the plane. When we were going to contact in the desert, this is the first time it hit me, and it just blew me away that all of the engines I was seeing was in the front of the wing.
I remember that plane trip. Ben just kept looking over going, dude, the engine's in a different place. And I was like, all right, man, it's a freaking 5-hour flight here.
But it was just like so shocking to me. I look out the window and I'm like, what the heck?
Then we're getting off of the plane and Ben's like, where's the pilot? He walks up to the pilot, he's like, have the engines always been like that?
And the pilot's like, yeah.
Yeah, right. I think so.
Yeah, it's just, and so I even talked to my dad, and he's like, oh yeah, well maybe they updated it recently, you know, or whatever.
And in all fairness, we're joking around about this, but personally, I do remember those engines being flush with the wing.
Yes.
Not in front of it, but like, or if it was just a little.
Yeah.
But now they're like way in front.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm a professional photographer, and I worked as a photo editor. I have tons of photos that I took of planes, or show some, but these are not that great. They were just for like small news pieces or whatever. But seriously, like these photos that I have, these engines were not there when I was taking the photos. Like I know for sure.
Yeah, because you were composing the
Yeah,
shot based on that, right?
Yeah, so I'm like looking at it, and like I went back to my photos, and I was like, oh my gosh, like they've changed. Like seriously, like this is not what I photographed when I was looking at these. So one of our followers, his name is Day in the Life of Mike. He sent this to us after we did this. He said, OMG, here's one, Ben. You were talking about the airplane Mandela effect with the engines. I had a toy airplane that had the engines further back. Now they're forward.
Man, weird.
So, thanks again, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. So speaking of statues, nothing is more weird for me than Rodin's The Thinker. So before we go into this one, think about how you remember that statue to be. This is a very famous statue.
Right. I mean, right. Did he have his fist open or closed? And was it on his head or was it under his chin?
And what makes this so strange is that people are posing right now in front with the wrong pose, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. So he has his like hand open.
He's like this now.
Yeah.
It's a very Rodin, funky, weird thing like this, right? I can't do it. He's like this.
But we all remember it.
But everyone always remembers this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I have my glasses on.
This or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was more like this, but
his fist, he had a closed fist though.
Did he?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely had a closed fist.
Personally, I don't remember this one, so I can't say for sure. It's not as sure for me as Ed McMahon was.
You know, to me, it's like I remember looking at this thing and thinking he's really in a deep thought. Now it looks like he's just like watching ants crawl on the floor. All right. Speaking of statues, let's go into the next crazy one. So I came to New York in 2008 and was really shocked to hear, for one, that the statue was on Liberty Island and not Ellis Island, which is what I learned in school.
Yeah, my knee-jerk reaction when you asked me what island it was on, I was like, Ellis.
You interested?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. I mean, so I came here with my parents, and we were all shocked to see it. For one, it was like further away than what we remembered, what I remember seeing photos, and it was like, man, it's really far out there. And then two, you have to have like a passport to go out there now, and it seems like it's
like another country.
It's so weird. I mean, you have to like go through this whole process to get there, and I'm like, why? It's just an island. But anyway, yeah. And the other crazy thing is we were wanting to go in the torch, and that day that we were there, I guess the whole Statue of Liberty was down, and then he was like, oh yeah, it's all repairs. Like you can't go to the torch. But what I didn't know is that the torch has been closed off for 100 years.
What?
But however, there's even people saying that they went up in the 80s and 90s in the torch section. But that would be impossible, right?
Actually, even The Simpsons had an episode where people were in the torch section, and there's evidence to show that it was closer to the harbor. And I remember seeing photos of people in that torch, man.
Dude, I remember it so clearly.
Also, like, I mean, we've looked at and saw comments from so many people being like, I was in the torch. I mean, the torch is much different than the crown.
And the other thing, too, so when Crocodile Dundee, during the scene when he's on a boat, shows the Statue of Liberty, it's very, very close to Manhattan. Of course, the Twin Towers are there and whatnot. But they were saying if you do that same scene now, there's no way you can get, no matter what kind of lens you're using, you cannot get the Statue of Liberty that close So guys, what do you think of these Mandela effects? Let us know, definitely. If you remember the Statue of Liberty being on Ellis Island,
Or the torch.
Yeah.
You visited the torch. We want to hear from you. That's crazy.
Visited the torch for
Yeah.
sure. Let us know.
But we kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about this and tell you what our perspective is after researching all of this stuff, what we think the Mandela effect is, and also why people don't understand it. And I'll tell you what, the comment I am most tired about looking at, and it happens once every 5 minutes, someone coming on there and be like, this is so dumb. This is just people not remembering, right? But like, it's not like that. You can't just say that. You can't just, like, yeah, if you're going to look at this, I mean, everybody says that the first time, but don't just brush it off and not look into the accounts or listen to people's stories, because some of these stories are weird, and that's where the qualitative data comes in, right? But there are certain ones that are just, there's too much evidence. You have to look at that evidence, and I think a lot of people aren't doing that. I think a lot of people want to stay conveniently in their own little bubble and use this conspiracy theory stick to hit people, which isn't cool. I don't think we should do that. As a society, I don't think we should do that. I think it's good to look through these things, and of course, you know, it's not like we're being annoying about this. We're just trying to call it out.
Right,
you know?
exactly. So I started seriously thinking about this. I mean, and we did a video on like CERN and quantum computers and whatnot. But one day I really started thinking about deja vu very seriously.
Yeah.
You know, and that moment is so weird. When I start thinking about deja vu, I just get this comment from Stevens. Asked us this exact question at the moment where I was thinking about this deja vu related to the Mandela effect. And I really, really believe now that there is a direct correlation between deja vu and the Mandela effect. What I think is kind of happening, and this is where it gets a little confusing, but I think from doing all the meditation that I do and everything, kind of everything, and what we understand, it's like we understand that multiple dimensions exist, and it's possible that we exist in these other dimensions. Something is happening in these other realms where like a timeline is either collapsing or like getting destroyed or something. And I believe that what's happening is that with deja vu, it's kind of like the past, present, and the future kind of converge with our timeline. And what we're remembering may actually be remnants of memories from another timeline that's like collapsing. And then it comes over here to kind of save what's going on, or vice versa. Maybe even something happened on this timeline and it's like being brought over into another timeline. I mean, if you're looking at it from that perspective, it's like there's these positive changes that are really happening. It's like the cabal or Illuminati or whatever you want to say take over by this point.
Right,
That was their whole
exactly.
plan. After 2012, they're going to take over everything.
So there is something going on potentially, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And this is a theory, obviously.
Yeah.
I think that someone is definitely messing with our timeline. My
Did
theory
they flip
is
it?
that these
that's
knuckleheads that
what
got
happened.
a hold of whatever it is are trying to change some serious stuff. They don't understand why
Okay,
they
that
can't
was like,
change
wait a
history the
second.
way they want it to,
Right.
but they're trying.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. And that's we kind of go into that in our time travel video
Right.
because I explain it. Because really, I think it's quite impossible to really truly change too much because everything's already done. And I think if anything does get changed, there's definitely a higher power looking over everything,
And
right? There's
that's
a balance
the
in
thing.
the universe.
They're
That's the
constantly
problem.
missing.
Yes.
And they don't understand. And the people that are,
Okay.
the bad people only that are trying to take advantage of science, not the good people, don't actually believe that there are higher powers at work. You can't just say, oh, I have no evidence they don't exist, and just say, blanket, they don't exist. Like, that's how science operates, right?
Right, exactly.
I don't believe something until I see it, and it's not a healthy way of,
Exactly.
how are you going to make improvements?
No matter what, something big is happening in our world and in our universe.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I
That
think so.
pretty much wraps up this episode.
You guys out there are probably like, whoa, what are these guys on? It looks like they're talking about like something on chronic.
No, we're not at all.
Actually.
We don't do the drugs. We
No.
stay off of them.
Meditate.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about these Mandela Effect examples. We're actually going to do another episode on Mandela Effect examples. It's going to get a little bit wild.
Well, yeah. That one will just be like more going through all different stuff. So.
All kinds of stuff. So hang on to your seats. We'll be going there soon. And until next time,
We'll see you guys out.
on the edge.
Okay, what do we do now? I have no idea. I'm actually kind of tired. to be honest. What time is it? Oh, it's probably, oh my god, it's probably like 4 in the morning. Yeah, I'm going to bed. Einstein was ready for bed. We're going to bed.
Does it ever seem like your favorite old song lyrics are different today than you once remember them? What about statues you just swear don't look right?
Thank you,
Or
everyone.
places you didn't even know were there until recently? We will now pose these questions and many more on this